Saving. Okay, so this is your screen. You're going to log in, and it's probably going to have some random trial mech up here. I don't know what happens for new players. It's been a long time since I was a new player, and things have changed since then. So basically, this is what you're going to go into, and then you want to click on Select Mech over here in the upper left-hand corner as a new player, and then as a new player, this is probably all going to be set similar to this, would be my guess. It may look something like this roughly. What you're going to want to do is going to leave that on both over here on the left where it says Inner Syrian Clan. Let's leave that on both, and then change this from both to trial. And then you can, of course, change it either by class or chassis. Class is just listing it by light, medium, assault, and heavies, and chassis is actual names of the mechs. So this is all the trial mechs you can currently play. As you can see, there's one of each kind currently. We actually were just talking about this with somebody else earlier on the stream. As a new player, the ones you probably want to look at first, again, it's going to vary based on your play style. But I think the general consensus was the ones you probably want to look at first are the Raven 3L. It's got 2 ER large lasers and ECM. It makes it for a good sniper. The ECM gives you it makes you really hard to find until you shoot. Once you shoot, once the lasers are done doing their thing, or if somebody starts shooting you back sooner than that, you want to drop that down behind the hill or building that you're at, so you can get back into cover and they won't know where you are, or at least they'll have a harder time finding you. So just as a beginning first time stuff, you want to probably play this guy. I think that's a good starter mech. If you don't want to play a sniper, you want to play more of a brawler, an up close and personal type guy, you want to take a look here at the Thunderbolt 9SE. He's got 3 large pulse lasers. They probably go out to, let's see, it's got range, quirks, so what, 20%. So they probably go out to about 350, 375, I think, meters. So this is a good mid-range brawler. Get within about 300 meters of people and start shooting them type deal. 3 large pulses means you can fire all 3 of them without what they call a ghost heat penalty. And then once you start getting your heat build up, you're going to want to start chain firing them, and you can set up the chain fire. Well, when you first get in the game, you're probably going to want to put all 3 large pulses in the same weapon group. I suggest 1, your first weapon group. You do that by using your arrow keys and the right control key. So you would, see, I can actually do that real quick. Let me just walk you through real quick. We'll just go into a testing ground so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. It'll be easier this way. Okay, Dan, no problem. And we'll just get into a single. This is just the testing ground. This is where you go to test your mechs, as you can see there. And it looks like they pre-assign it to group 1. And I'm moving. If you look in the lower right-hand corner, it says large pulse laser, and I'm just using the up and down arrow key to do this. And if you want to reassign them to a different number, these are in basically your mouse buttons in most cases. You can actually change these around within the settings of the game. So, but in this case, you're going to want all 3 of them in group 1. And then, but you may want to also assign them to group 2 as well, and I'll show you here why. And how you do that is hit the right arrow key once to move it over to 2. And then as you can see, the first row is highlighted. You can change that by doing the up and down arrow key. And then hit the right control key, and that'll assign it to group 2. And then you can do that again for this one, and then this one. So you want to do that for each one. So you just go to 2 and hit control for each one. Okay, once you've done that, make sure that the 2 row is highlighted, and then you hit your backspace key, and you can see they're flashing now. And what this means is that means they're in chain fire mode. So in group 1, all 3 fire at once, just like that. And that's what you're going to want to be doing in most cases, because that's 33 damage to the same point really quickly. So that's what you want to do. However, once your heat gets nice and built up, because the fight's been going on for a little while and you're running really hot, you don't want to overheat. So you're going to want to start chain firing the weapons, and that's when you use your second fire group, and every time you hit the button, it cycles through the lasers. The time I hit it a little too fast there, but so there's 1, 2, 3. You can see how they're going on. So for this particular mech, and that's just the basics on how to set it up. If you didn't know how to do that, hopefully you do know how to do that now. So hope that makes sense. And like I said, I think the general consensus is for first mechs to play as a new player, you definitely want to give the Raven a try, keeping in mind that it is a light mech and it is very fragile. The Thunderbolt here is a 65-ton heavy mech, so it's got a little bit more armor. It's not super durable, but it is definitely more durable than the Raven, and it's got a nice standard engine in it. Can you actually look at the loadout on these guys? I think you can. Yeah, you can actually look at the loadout. Okay, this is good. Okay, so as you can see, with the Thunderbolt, is all your weapons are in the left torso, and what that means is, why I'm bringing this up, is you've got a standard engine, so you can afford to lose your right arm and your right torso, and actually your left arm as well, and keep on fighting. The Raven can't do that. If the Raven loses one of its side torsos, it's going to die because it's running an Excel engine. And for the IS, you don't want to lose your side torsos because you die when you run an Excel. Standard engines, you do not. You keep on fighting. So when you are fighting, remember to twist and protect your left torso. So you want to twist to your left to protect your left torso here, and try to get as much damage. When you are taking damage, try to get it to your right arm and your right torso, and even to your left arm when possible. Basic stuff. So this is like a meching 101 kind of stuff. I think maybe 102. Depending on how advanced 101 is supposed to be. And unfortunately, you cannot change these mechs because they are trials. You can take this stuff off, but you can't save it. See, there's no save option down here. If you actually own this mech, there would be a save button down here in the lower left. But since you can't, you can't. Does that make sense? So, oh Thel, you and your free birth. Acers just confirmed 3 kills, 5 assists, 520 damage, and what? And hey, Kevlar. Okay, Dan, if you got any more questions, feel free to ask. Oh, how much time should you wait to buy a mech? Basically, your first 25 matches, you're going to get a C-bill bonus. That's the in-game money you use to buy mechs. You're going to want to wait at least those 25 matches. You're going to want to build up your C-bills as much as possible. Learn the game. And just because I'm suggesting you play these mechs, the Thunderbolt and the Raven, doesn't mean you should go out and buy them. Play them to see if they fit your play style. If they do, awesome. If they don't, try some of the other mechs out. They're different. The Griffin here is a different style. The Banshee's a different style. The Mad Dog's a different style. The Quick Draw, these are all slightly different. They're not all identical play styles, so you're going to want to play as many of these guys as you can in your first 25 matches, even longer. You don't have to buy a mech right away. Buying a mech just allows you to customize it, and that means spending C-bills. So you're going to want as many C-bills saved up as possible. As you can see, I've got a few million here. Don't think that I did this in a week or a month. This took me years. So, and I actually had more than this up until recently, until about a year ago, actually. A year ago, I was up near 500 million. But Community Warfare came out, and I started spending C-bills on modules and tweaking mechs and whatever. And since that time, just buying more and more stuff, it's cut into my C-bills. But it took me a long time to get to this many C-bills, and even more. It takes a while to build up C-bills. However, once you're done with your 25 matches, you should be somewhere, I think, around 6-7 million C-bills, which should be enough to buy a medium mech. And, you know, like a Griffin here. Actually, just show the trials. Like a Griffin or a Stormcrow. Not a Stormcrow, sorry, a Trebuchet. Although I don't suggest necessarily buying these guys. You may want to look at these based on their, you know, how you perform. But realistically, after your first 25 matches, you're not going to be able to afford and equip out a mech anything bigger than 55 tons. And that's what the Griffin here is, 55. Actually, we'll just show you what I have. Like the Blackjack's 45 ton IS mech. And do you know what the difference between a clan and an IS, or IS is short for Inner Sphere? Typically, in most cases, Inner Sphere is going to be a good choice to buy, although in order to get them fully, an IS medium mech fully equipped, it's probably going to cost you nearly as much as buying, say, one of the clan mediums, which is here, the Shadowcat, Stormcrow, Ice Ferret, and the Nova. Although of the clan mediums, if you're going to buy first, you're going to want to go Stormcrow. Stormcrow is the best medium in the game. They are super expensive though. They're like 10 to 11 million, I think. We can actually look in the store just to give you an idea what you're going to be looking for, and then we're going to sort by class. Let's just sort by class. So let's look at the Stormcrow real quick. Like I said, Shadowhawk is one of the better IS mediums. As you can see, they are about the 4 million range, except for the 5M here. But he's got an Excel engine more than likely. Yes, he does. He got an Excel. That's why he's so expensive at 8 million. These other guys have standard engines, so they're only 4 million. But what you have to realize too is these also probably don't have double heat sinks. I suspect they don't. Mech Lab. Yeah, these $4 million Shadowhawks, they've got no upgrades. Standard armor, standard heatsink, standard structure, standard missiles. In order to get them up in competitive specs, you're going to have to be running double heatsinks, probably endo steel, possibly ferro, but generally your upgrades for IS mechs go double heatsinks first, then endo, ferro if you can fit it, and the Artemis is independent of those others. It depends on whether you have missiles and what you want to do with them. So keep that in mind. But I was just showing you how. So keep in mind, these Shadowhawks, they start off at 4 million, a little over, go up to 8 million because that one's got an Excel engine. And we look at the Stormcrow in comparison, 11 million. So basically almost 3 times the cost for a Stormcrow. This is the clan, 55 tonner. And why is it so expensive? It's because it's got an Excel engine, it's got endo steel, it's got ferrofibrous, it's got clan weaponry, so that's why it's so expensive. And these other, these Shadowhawks, they're gonna. I should actually go back to the Mech Lab real quick, and I'll show you how much it's going to cost. If you want double heat sinks in structure, the heat sinks are 1.5 million alone. Endo steel is going to run you another 550,000 as well. So 2 million just to get heat sinks, and an additional 2 million just to get your heat sinks in your structure up to par. Again, you don't have all your weapons either, so you may be able to get some ferro on here, but I wouldn't worry about that at first. But that's going to run you another 275,000. So 275,000, sorry. So keep that in mind. So put that in perspective back again. So like I said, Stormcrows are running at 11 million. Same tonnage for an IS mech, although cheaper at first. You're probably going to end up buying a different engine. It's going to run you another, 3 million? 2.5 million? 3.5 million to up again. So figure 7 million at least to upgrade this Shadowhawk to where you want it to be. So your 25 matches, save your C-bills as long as you can, and don't buy a mech until you know what you're going to be playing or how you're going to be playing. You ended up with 10 million Aramar. Okay, well that's a good number to work with. So, Dan, figure 8 to 10 million after your first 25 matches, roughly, depending on how you perform. Um, Upgrades first or weapons. That's gonna. I would say double heat sinks should be the first thing you do. Double heat sinks are gonna give you the biggest bang for the buck. From there, and then start looking at weapons. Weapons aren't quite as expensive as your. Let's actually look at one of mine. Blackjack one. How expensive are weapons? Okay, here we got for prices. So these are, this is inner sphere weapons. So medium lasers, 80,000. That's not a big deal. Most mechs come with a lot of this stuff, So just look at the prices. They're not that bad. Avoid ER larges at first. Chances are in an IS you're going to be looking at medium lasers, medium pulses, probably large pulses and large lasers. These are probably the weapons you're going to be looking at the most often. As you can see, they're not cheap. One at a time, it doesn't look bad. It's when you start putting on 2 and 3 at a time, especially if the mech doesn't come with them naturally. Like the 1X here, the Blackjack 1X. This is actually really close to the stock build. It comes, I believe, with the. I can look in the store. I keep forgetting you got the store now. We haven't had this in quite. This is kind of still new, and I forget that it's here. But you can actually look to see what some of these stock builds like. The 1X. There we go. So the 1X is 3 million. And as you can see, the stock build. Oh, it's got flamers. Okay. So if you were to buy this mech, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to ditch these flamers. You can sell them if you want, or you can keep them. If you sell them, though, you're only going to get half price. As you can see, they're priced at right now at 15,000. If you sell them, you're only going to get 7.5 back for them. So keep that in mind if you ever want to use flamers. Most people don't use flamers except as joke weapons. So if you were to buy this, you're going to want to get rid of these flamers as soon as possible. You're going to want to upgrade these heat sinks to doubles, and that means you're going to have to buy those heat sinks back, because once you do the upgrade, you actually have to start buying the heat sinks, and as you can see, they're 12,000 a pop. So this stuff is going to get, but you have most of your weapons already. You're going to have to buy 4 more mediums, which are 80,000 a shot. So that's 320,000 on top of that for the mediums. These heat sinks that are 12, you're going to need at least 4 of them. So that's another 48,000. Starts adding up. So, but just keep in mind, save your money. And don't buy a mech until you're really sure what you want to play, because the worst thing you can do is buy a mech that you're not happy playing, and because that's going to ruin your experience, your gaming experience, because it's your first mech. It's the one that's going to be producing your early money, so you want to make a really good choice there that fits your play style. Okay. What should you do to perform well? I mean, playing more in a, I'm guessing, sniper style. Pentrex is good. Never peek multiple times from the same spot. If they saw you, if they didn't see you, keep going, keep sniping from that spot until they do see you. Once they see you, then you want to move. And by move, I mean more than 10 meters. You're actually going to want to move a decent... No group invites. I hate when they do that. You're going to want to move, a significant distance, so that when you pop up again, they're not going to be looking right at you. So you're going to want to move a minimum probably of 200 meters if you can. You don't have to, but you definitely don't want to be in the same exact spot. You want to move to your left or your right as much as possible, or without, of course, showing yourself. Let's see, what's the other questions? Yeah, and again, you don't have to play sniper, as in Aussie is saying, but if that's what you want to play, go for it. The Raven 3L does have, high-mounted right arm for both of those large ERs, the ER large lasers. They're both in the right arm of the Raven, so they're basically going to be firing from, of course, the right side of your head, just above your eye level, or right around your eye level, if I remember correctly. So, no, flamers are not the best weapons over. Don't be telling new players that. Actually, I can show you the Raven specifically because I have. I do have the Raven 3Ls, so we'll just show you what it looks like. So as you can see, these are where the large lasers are. They're right here in the right arm here. As you can see, this is eye level, so the right or eye level. So all you need to do is when you're peeking, coming up to a hill, is if you can see somebody over the hill, you can shoot them. That's all. You don't have to bring your whole body up. As soon as you get your eye level above the crest of the hill, and you can see somebody, you can shoot them in this mech. That's why it's a good sniper. And the ECM makes you really hard to see, because this basically from the nose down, is going to be covered behind, underneath the hill if you do it correctly. And these lasers are still going to be shooting over, and they're going to look back because you're ECM. If you're not moving, they might see you, depending on how close they are. And if they didn't see your lasers, chances are they're not going to see you, or they're going to have real trouble on most maps seeing you. But as soon as you're done firing your lasers, you want to duck back down. It takes, what, a second and a half, roughly, I think, to fire larges. To tell you the actual burn time. Duration 1.25, so it takes you 1.25 seconds to fire these things. So as soon as they're done, you duck back down behind the hill. Hopefully they didn't see you. If you pop back up again and somebody's shooting at you, that means they saw you, of course. So you want to duck back down, move to a different spot. If nobody is shooting back at you and you don't see anybody looking at you, shoot them again. Do you need to be a light type to play a sniper? No, you do not actually. There are actually a number of mechs that can play snipers. Let's see some good ones that I have. There's just different types of sniping weapons. You have large lasers, ER large lasers are good for sniping. PPCs, ER PPCs are sniper weapons as well, and the Gauss rifle all work. The Shadowcat, which isn't available yet, so I won't show that one. The Shadowhawk can do sniping. This is actually a Shadowhawk with 3 AC2s. Technically a sniper build. Some people don't like the AC2, but you put 3 AC2 together like this, and it can do some serious damage. Not the best sniper though, because the AC2s don't do a lot of burst damage. They require you to be shooting constantly. Bang, 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 bang. So if nobody's shooting back at you, they're great, but if somebody is shooting back at you, not so great. But what you can do is, instead of running 3 AC2s here, you run a Gauss rifle. Show you what that looks like real quick. Just so you can see what it looks like. I don't run Gauss because I don't like them. They have a weird slots. Slots here? They don't have enough slots here. Structure. I have to downgrade this structure. That. Not the structure. Okay, there we go. Gauss. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. I'm not going to actually play it.
Incoming message.
Camo spec. That's what the Gauss looks like. Get the person in. T4 Quad, thank you for the follow, much appreciated. So yeah, as you can see, this is the Gauss. The Shadowhawk can do this decently. The Shadowhawk is actually a good Gauss sniper. It's nice and high. Again, like the Raven, all you really need to do is get up above eye level on the hills, and your gun is right there above your eye level, just a little bit, and snipe away. The downside to the Shadowhawk, of course, is it does not have ECM. So you're going to pop up, take your shot, pop back down, because chances are if you stay up there, they're going to know you're there, because people tend to recognize when they get hit by Gauss really quickly because it hurts. So Gauss sniping is a little bit different than the Raven sniping, because the Raven has the advantage of ECM. It can, pop up, shoot, and nobody knows you're there. These guys, if you shoot and you stay up there too long, they're going to turn around, they're going to see you, they're going to be able to target you, they know where you are. So you got to keep that in mind with this. Like I said, this is a good Gauss sniper. For medium. What others can do that? I don't think any of the other mediums have this high mounted Gauss for sniping. For heavies, we've got cataphracts are a little different. They aren't the best snipers anymore. The advantage of the cataphract here is the 3D has jump jets, and so it can do what they call pop tarting or jump sniping. And this cataphract's got an AC-20 and the right torso here. Some people still run the cataphract 3D here with a Gauss instead. It looks basically the same. The only downside is you can see it's really low mounted. Even if you put a Gauss in here, it's still going to be right here about waist level. And that's what the jump jets are for. Use jump jets that pop up a little bit, take your shot, pop back down. Again, you don't see that too much anymore because they kind of nerfed jump jets for heavies and assaults, so it takes a little bit more work to get them to work correctly. Not a playstyle I suggest in today's world for a new player, and also the 3D is really expensive to get at first too. It's one of the more expensive heavies. Gaussapult. Yes, Gaussapult is a possibility, and the Gaussapult is the K2 catapult. Mine is not a Gaussapult. I am still running actually pretty much the base weapon loadout. I think. Is it? Yeah, maybe not. This is kind of close to the stock load out of the K2 with the PPCs and the mediums and that kind of stuff. But people actually run double Gauss. They put 2 Gauss rifles in the side torsos here. The purple here, that means there's a ballistic hardpoint there, here and here. Not recommended for a beginning player. You can try it if you want, just not recommended because you have to basically strip down a lot of armor if you want any decent amount of ammunition. You have to run an Excel engine, of course, and like I said, you have to strip down a lot of armor in order to get this thing to run correctly as a Gaussapult. Not really suggested for a new player, but it's just something to consider maybe later on in your career. But other heavies that are going to be within C-build. The Hellbringer is not going to be in your C-build range for a while. At least not for, because these guys are running, I think, 12 million or so, something like that. But these guys are good Gauss snipers again. This is not a Gauss cannon. This is actually an LB-20X, but the Gauss goes in the same spot. And you go, okay, why is this a good Gauss sniper? It's because this is an ECM mech as well. This is the Hellbringer for the clans, aka the Loki. Come on, go away. I don't need to see that. There we go. But this Gauss is if you put a Gauss here that's kind of high mounted, just at chest level, so it's not too bad. And again, it's an ECM mech, so you can basically shoot people from far away, and they can't target you, but you'll be able to target them and plink away at them and make them really, really happy people. Jaegers, IS Mechs, 65 tonner. These are good Gauss snipers. This one in particular, no, that's not what I want to show. This is what I want to show. This isn't, I don't run a Gauss sniper for the Jaegers, just because, again, I'm not a fan of Gauss, so I don't really run them. But as you can see, this is where the Gauss rifles would be. These are, I believe, what, AC2s or AC5s? These are AC5s. But Gauss will be the same spot, nice and high. This is actually eye level for the Jaeger, is right here in the center of the chest. That's where your eye level is. So the Gauss is actually going to be a little bit higher, so you can, peek over the hill, and you're still exposing roughly the same amount of mech, because this is still going to be exposed at the top of your head here, but your Gauss are going to be up nice and high. These are actually good snipers as well. I definitely recommend the Jaeger if you want to snipe with the Gauss. It can also do AC5s, AC2s, the Firebrand here. This is the hero. This one you can only get with real money. You have to buy MC, which you can only get with, well, not only anymore, but you use real money to buy MC, and then you use MC to buy the hero mechs. And if you don't know what a hero mech is, hero mechs are unique in that they have unique hardpoint placements. They also give you a 30% C-bill bonus for every match, and they have custom skin jobs, as in no other mech has this skin job. As you can see, there's like a little devil's head, gets a "From Hell" on it written on it. It's got the pitchforks and devil's tail on the back. It's got like fire going on, and of course you can change the colors and make it look whatever you want. I just used the black and reds and stuff. Colors, green, see. So you can change the colors around, make it give it whatever look you want. But again, this is a hero mech. Again, you don't want to buy these guys until you're sure you actually want to play the game for a length of time, because again, they do cost real money, and and based on the tonnage of the mech determines how much they actually cost. The heavier the mech, the more it costs. And this one in particular is one of my favorites, actually. One of my favorite mechs, because it actually allows you to duplicate build what we call unseen mechs in BattleTech lore. Unseen mean that we're never going to see them in a video game until a certain company gives up their rights to them. So you can see ballistics, lasers, blah blah. It's fun mech. I like it. Okay, back to the snipers. Mad Dogs are not snipers. They're missile platforms. Quick Draws, they're not snipers. Somewhat, well, a little bit. You can, I guess. Quick Draws are heavies. They got jump jets. Their downside is, as you can see, this one actually has 4 large lasers. You could put all 4 in the side torsos, but I took 2 and put 1 in each arm. The reason I did that is because for shooting down UAVs or people that are up higher than, say, eye level, it can be sometimes difficult to get your torso-mounted weapons to go too high enough. So I put 2 lasers into the arm so that I can actually shoot above shoulder level more efficiently. But you could, if you wanted to be a sniper, you can put different types of energy weapons in here. You could put either, like these are large lasers. You could put ER larges in here, or you could put PPCs or ER PPCs. All sniping is not necessarily done with Gauss. You can actually use some energy weapons for that as well. So as you can see, they're somewhat high mounted chest level, and this thing's got jump jets, so you can always jump up a little bit, snipe over hills if you need to. So that's an option as well for snipers. Summoner, I'm not a good summoner person, so I'm not really good for talking about them. Thunderbolts, we discussed the 3 large pulse ones. Thunderbolts are all pretty much the same of what they can do. They're pretty much all focused around lasers. Yeah, you can put missiles on them. I think even one of them might have a ballistic. Does one of them have a ballistic? I don't think so. Yeah. So the 5S does have a ballistic hard points, although you never see anybody running them. Thunderbolts are good energy boats. They're good for using lasers. As you can see, this one, the 9S, is back in the day, as in 6 months ago. This was one of the better PPC snipers out there. You basically just put 3 PPCs on this thing and go to town. As you can see, the quirks there got velocity, cooldown, and heat generation, all nice and low. They used to be better. It can still do it, just not as efficiently as it used to. It was overpowered, and PGI toned it down to make it more reasonable because all the clan players are bitching and moaning about it, so it got toned down. Still not horrible, but not as good as it used to be. And as you can see, the reason why is these are PPCs up here, up on the right-hand shoulder. That's where they're mounted, nice and high, and all the other these are the other energy hard points. And the way you used to basically run it is you'd run 2 up here, maybe 1 down here in the arm, again on your preference, or you'd run it here, I believe, in the left torso, I think. No, wait a minute, it was all the right side. It was the right arm. You got the 2 up high, the 1 down on the arm, so you get a little bit of a height if necessary for hitting higher targets. But this guy was the guy 6 to 8 months ago. They were overpowered. Fun as hell to play though. They really were. They really are. And you can, again, if you feel like working them, it's not that bad. It's a good PPC sniper still. Just not as good as it was. So that's the heavies that I have. Timberwolf, I would wait on the Timberwolf. I'm buying any Timberwolves. These guys are expensive. I believe they start at 15 million roughly. They are basically the best mech in the game. Arguably the best mech in the game. Most people will tell you they are the best mech in the game. They can do whatever you want them to do. They are expensive. They are worth it. But again, I would not worry about them until you are well established. They can do basically whatever you want. Gauss, laser vomit, missile vomit, ballistic vomit, you name it, they can do it. Again, save your money. You're going to want one eventually, just save your money. And as far as assaults, Atlases, not the best snipers. Banshees, the 3E. This is a good ballistic sniper. Not high, really high mounted. This particular build is 3 AC5s, 2 PPCs. As you can see, the ACs are somewhat high mounted. The way you play this one is you fire. Saw somebody. The reason I'm bringing this up because I saw somebody yesterday playing this wrong. You can flat out play this wrong. The way this one is this mech is played, these 3 AC5s, you fire all 3 at once, no exceptions. There's no reason not to fire all 3 at once. Yesterday, I watched somebody play this and he was chain firing them. You are killing your firepower by doing that in this build. This build is meant to play these 3 AC5s all at once. Bang, bang, bang. You're doing 15 points of damage every time you hit. You're firing it faster than the Gauss, at the same range of the Gauss, and you are going to make people hate themselves because they stood out too long in the open while you beat the fuck out of them. This mech is brutal. It can be very brutal. Its downside, it's slow. Because they are torso mounted and are not super high, it's not the best sniper. But it does its long range damage very well, very efficiently. If you ever want to do an assault mech, you don't want to spend millions and millions of C-bills like on a Direwolf, this is one of your better selections. I highly suggest it. I encourage you to get one if you can't afford it. The Banshees are somewhat underplayed, and they shouldn't be. They're better than most people think they are. But again, my personal opinion, don't take it as gospel, but that's my personal. I love this build. I love the mech itself. I need to play it more than I do. Battlemasters. Battlemasters are not the best snipers. Can you snipe with them? Yes. This is my favorite Battlemaster build. You won't see a lot of people running it. Why do I like it? Look at those PPCs mounted up nice and high in the shoulders. Actually, all the energy hard points on this thing are nice and high. This is actually not a bad energy sniper. The downside to the Banshee is it's, or not the Banshee, the Battlemaster is it's slow. Yeah, it's slow, but that's it. This particular build is a little different. Like I said, you won't see a lot of people running it because it tends to be a little hot. This one is, these are 2 AC5s on the left arm, 2 PPCs up high, and these are 4 medium lasers. You'll commonly see this particular Battlemaster, the 1G, either 4 mediums or multiple larges in these positions, because it does those builds really well based on the quirk. But this isn't even the laser vomit one, is it? Yeah, I think one of these guys is actually better. Not the S. This is quirk. I'm looking at the quirks. This one is meant to run a lot of medium lasers. Like, you don't have to. As you can see, it's got PPC velocity. That's why I have them. Well, I was running PPCs on these things before they even had quirks. So, Cursed Kid, thank you for the follow. And let's see, the 1D. Yeah, see, there's other Battlemasters out there that I haven't bought, and I think one of them does laser vomit better. I'm pretty sure, I forget which one it is, but there are new Battlemasters out there that do more of this stuff. You don't see them a lot. They're more laser vomity, not so much snipey. But they're fine. Again, something to take a look at once you're more established. Direwolves, definitely, once you're more established, you're going to want to look at these guys as well. Dan Calder, thank you. You're the one I'm talking to, so thank you very much. Direwolves, super expensive, super worth it. I wouldn't call them well, they are snipers, but not the way you think they are. Um, all their weapons are, as you can see, they're low mounted. This is 4 UAC 10s. This is 6 UAC 5s. You can put a Gauss in basically any of these 4 positions, either the arms or the side torsos. Common build for these guys is double Gauss, maybe some large lasers, maybe some PPCs, maybe not even large lasers or PPCs at all, just regular medium lasers or medium pulses or whatever usually, but double Gauss is very popular in direwolves. Again, they do it well, they're worth the money, but don't look at them until you can actually really afford them, because they do cost a lot. They are 100-ton assault mech, worth every C-bill. They're slower than shit. Their top speed is 53.5 kph after speed tweak. They're stock. When you first buy them, they only do 48 and change kph, so they're really slow, but they're brutal. These particular builds, the 6 UAC 5s, long range, lots of firepower. I did a 1200 point damage game just last week in this. Didn't win the game, but it was fun. It consistently does 500 damage plus. You actually have to work at not doing a lot of damage. You actually have to work at dying early so you don't do your damage. The 4 UAC 10 is similar, just not as long range. It can actually, but it does more damage faster. But it's also hotter as well. Again, another brutal build. Not technically snipers, but like I said, double Gauss on these guys, no problem. I don't like Gauss. It's just not the weapon for me. Executioners. Executioners can be snipers. Do I have anything in the right arm for ballistics? I don't think I have any ballistics in any of my arms. Oh, there we go. The Executioner is fairly new. Just came out last month. But it's not really a sniper. But what makes it special is it has Mask. Mask is new to the game with the Executioner and the Shadowcat, the medium 45-ton clan mech. It takes up some tonnage, but what it gives you is it gives you a higher top speed, briefly. Mask you can only use for a certain amount of time, and if you overuse it, you blow your legs off. I've got a video of me doing it if you'd like to see it and have a couple of laughs. It's quite funny, because it was not on purpose, but I did it in Executioner. And what Mask does is it gives you a slight boost to your top speed. It gives you a boost to your acceleration and deceleration. So what it allows the Executioner here to do, this is a nice big assault mech. What is he, 95, 90 tons? Somewhere around there. Let's say what the tonnage is here. Yeah, whatever, not important. But anyway, what it allows you to do is you turn Mask on. Say you're at a corner of a building. You know your enemies are around the corner. And what you want to do is you want to pop around that corner real fast, take your shot, and pop back dead. Normally in an assault you can't do that because assaults are really slow. No matter how big of an engine you put in them, they're going to be slow. What the Mask does, it allows the Executioner to pop around that corner. You turn Mask on, pop around, take your shot, pop back out, turn Mask off. Mask allows you to do that because it gives you a bonus to acceleration and deceleration. So that's it. It's not true. It's not a true sniper. It's more like a pop around the corner type sniper. And that's, you can put a Gauss or whatever ballistics you want or lasers in the arms, and it's actually really good. You don't see a lot of people using them yet because they're not available for C-bills. But once they are out, this is something you may want to look at if you are a sniper, because they also have jump jets as well, which Mask will give you a boost. If you engage your Mask, do your jump, it'll give you a little bit farther jumping range. So it's something to consider again. Again, they're not out for C-bills, but in time, once you're more established, you may want to look at these guys a little bit more. Gargoyles, avoid the gargoyles. Highlanders, these used to be the shit for Pop-Tartars. Not anymore. Avoid the Highlander for sniping. King Crab. King Crabs are awesome. They are basically a lesser version of the direwolf. As far as how many weapons they can carry. Their advantage is, unlike the direwolf, you can actually change the engines on these things, so you can make them faster. This particular one is, We'll just sort of load out real quick. This is my favorite currently king crab build. I've been running him quite a bit the last couple of weeks. It's 4 UAC 5s, 9 tons of ammo with the standard 325. It does 57 kph after speed tweak. Not fast by any definition, but it's kind of quick for an assault. Not super quick, but quick enough. Not truly, it's kind of a sniper, but 4 UAC 5s are brutal. And to put that in perspective, the dire wolf with the 6 UAC 5s, it's comparable to that in damage purpose. For some reason, it puts out near the same damage as 6 UAC 5s. These 4 UAC 5s are very comparable. I don't know why. They're just very consistent. Very consistent high damage. And again, with the king crab, this is 110 assault, just like the dire. Yes, the arms are, all the weapons go here in the arms. These claws actually open up when you fire. Automatically, you don't have to do anything. They will automatically open. You can open them manually if you want, but they will automatically open up when you do fire them. But again, a popular build for the king crabs are 2 Gauss, and then in this particular one, what's nice about the crab is its energy hard points are up here on the right shoulder. Can't really see it here, but you can in this one. This is my 2 AC-20 build, king crab. It's got an AC-20 in each arm, and these are large lasers up here. What you could do is, instead of AC-20s, put Gauss down here. Either keep these as large pulses, PPCs. The actual first build I ran on this was 2 AC-20s and 2 PPCs. Hotter than shit, but it was fun, but not real efficient for brawling. So I changed it out to just regular larges. Got some more ammo and a couple more heat sinks too, because this thing still runs hot as with AC-20s. But again, the king crab is a good Gauss sniper, Gauss in the arms, and your choice of energy weapons up here. It works well. I don't run one again because I don't like Gauss. But like I said, the 4 UAC 5s, very good build, works well. The other crab, that's a Lerm boat. This one, oh, this is one of my experimental builds. It's 2 AC-5s, 2 AC-2s with some medium lasers up here for backup. The crab gives you some variations on what you want to do. And if you're wondering why does this look so different, this is this is a Karita house skin. You have to use MC to buy these skins, and unfortunately the crab is the only mech outside of the resistance mechs, which are specific. Most IS mech. This is the only non-resistance mech that you can put clan or house skins on, and house skins are Steiner, Davian, Karita, Liao, Rosahog, all 6 of them, whatever all their names are that I'm forgetting, I'm sure. But as you can see, it's a nice custom skin. Skin. Very nice. This is my favorite skin. I think it looks awesome on the crab. Okay, let's see. Am I done yet? Almost. That's king crab. Again, very similar builds to the direwolf. Only the differences are this is an Innisphere mech. Direwolf is clan. You can customize the direwolf more with the weapons, but with the crab you get to customize the engine. Stalkers. Stalkers typically aren't seen as snipers, but they are. In particular, the 4N here. This is a large laser sniper. As you can see, got 4 energy hardpoints in each of the 2. These are the arms. These blocks up here are the arms. Those 2 little red dots, those are large lasers. Down here in the center, you got a dot there and a dot there. Those are large lasers as well. This mech is built to boat large lasers. This one's got 6. And as you can see, the quirks. It's got range, heat generation quirks to make it more efficient when running large lasers. Basically, what you do is you fire 3 large lasers at a time, and you alternate between those 2 groups. Chain fire is needed. So, hold on a second. I gotta take a real quick break, guys. Okay, and I'm back. Sorry about that. The wife was asking me what I wanted for dinner. So, again, this is a large laser sniper. This is the Stalker, 85-ton assault mech for the inner sphere. It does it really well. It's got the quirks to go along with it. The clans hate these guys in community warfare. They're responsible for getting them slightly adjusted not too long ago, but they still do their jobs really well. Misery is a hero mech, so I won't show him. The 5M is primarily a laser boat, or not a laser, he's a missile boat. You can sort of see it. He's got missiles here. These doors actually, these rectangles here are actually missile bay doors. But as you can see, he's got large lasers as well. He's got energy hard points in his arms that are up nice and high. And again, we'll go back to this guy because this is his primary job. Again, eye level is right here, just above the nose, and those lasers are coming up above. So again, all you have to do is get your eyesight just to the crest of the hill. You can see them, you're going to shoot them. Plain and simple, and you don't have to expose yourself very much. Victor, not really a sniper, although they used to be jump snipers way back when. Not anymore. You can put a Gauss on some of them, like the 9S here. I have an AC-20 instead, but you could put a Gauss on here. Not really recommended for sniping unless you're feeling brave. Warhawk, not really a sniper, but you can put different builds on them to make them effective. This is the prime. This is 4 large pulse lasers. Technically not a sniper, but this thing is, okay, it's got 4 large pulses, and I put a level 6 target computer, and it's got a range module for large pulses. These large pulses go out past 700 meters, just like 704, 705, somewhere around there. That's fairly long range for large pulses. I mean, they're clan, so they're automatically considered, they're already naturally ER, but you can kind of, it's not really a sniper. And the Warhawk, they've got arms that have ballistics in them. You know, if they have 1 ballistic hardpoint in each arm, so you can do double Gauss on these guys if you really want to. But again, the downside is, they're not very high. All the mountings on the Warhawk are low, just like the Direwolf. So you can't, and it doesn't have any weapons energy, or it doesn't have no ballistics for the side torsos, and I don't know if it's got any energy for the side torsos as well. I know there's the C's got one in the center torso, but that doesn't help you because it's the same level as the arms. But again, not really a sniper per se, but it can do double Gauss, it can do PPCs, larges, you know, large pulses, that kind of stuff. So you can still hit long range. It's just not a true sniper because again, it is an assault, and the mounts are fairly low. And the last one that I have is the Zeus. Not really a sniper. You can put long range weapons on it, but again, not a sniper per se. So as you can see, these are 2 AC5s. You could put maybe a Gauss in this. Might be able to squeeze a Gauss in there. I don't think so. Maybe. Can you put a Gauss? I think so. I don't think you have enough space. No, you can't put a Gauss in here. Did not know that. Never tried. So technically, in some of the Zeuses that have ballistics in their left arms, which is all but one, I think the all but one has ballistics in the left arm. So you could put a Gauss here in the Zeus. Again, not really a sniper because it's low. You know, it's just that, you know, basically lower chest level. Not a true sniper, but you could definitely do the long range stuff. I prefer the AC5s because this thing is actually quirked out for AC5s. Put 2 AC5s on this with the range module, and they go out to 800 meters. The AC5s do, which is pretty long range. Very effective build too for me. It works really well for me. The 2 AC5s, 4 medium pulse. I like the build. It's really fun. Anyway, that's all. Those are basically all your chances are. So Dan, any questions? Sorry guys for taking so long explaining all this stuff. I wasn't really watching chat, so if you've got anything that you would like to point out that I fucked up at, please say so. Couldn't get and build a new mech as demo for new pilots. Couldn't you get and build a new mech as demo for the new pilots? I could. What do you mean, Aramar? You mean go out and just get buy a new mech and build one for somebody? Just to show them how to do it? Yeah, the thing is, Dan, that's actually not all the mechs. I don't have every mech in the game. Those are just the ones I have. There are more. There are actually more mechs out there. As you can see, my voice is going on me. I'm not used to talking that much. Yes, I know that's. I apologize. That is a lot of info. Yeah. Show the new guy how to build a new mech. Is that what you're asking, Aramar? It's been an hour since I played. Yeah, well, you got to do something different every now and then. Yes, this is all being recorded. I will. I can definitely highlight it. But that's an hour long. Wow. Hold on. Let me write that down real quick, just so I don't forget. I will probably end up highlighting this because thankfully this music that's playing in the background doesn't screw up the volume with Twitch, so that's a good thing. But let me just make sure I get the timing correct for this. 2, 3. Okay, so I'll definitely highlight this for later purpose because again, that's a lot. I know that's a lot of info to go over and try to remember. So I will definitely highlight this and put it up for later use for people who want to use it. Okay, I am in the store. Do I really want to buy a mech though? I don't have to, do I? Don't really want to buy a mech. What I can do is simulate getting a new mech, and what I can do is, I don't know, Dan. Do you want me to walk through buying a new mech and building it? I mean, I don't have to. If you really want to see it, I will. But I know you're not at that point anyway. So maybe at a later time. I don't know. Buy a new mech and build it up. I don't really want to do that, Aramar. That's the thing. Because Dan's not really... He's not ready yet. He's still a new player. He doesn't have the money to buy a new mech yet. So we'll just wait. It's not a question of spending the C-bills. It's will he get anything out of it? That's the question. Oh, please, would be nice. You're not helping me, Dan. The question is what do I need? I don't have any mechs I need. That's the problem. I don't even know what to buy. For mediums, I don't need any of the blackjacks for sure. I don't want the 1D. I don't need him. Turians I don't need. Cicadas I'm fine. Enforcers I have them all. Right? Yes, I have all the enforcers. Griffins. The 1N. It's the 1N. Why would I buy the 1N? 3 energy, 3 missile. No, I don't need the 1N. Munchies I don't need. Ice Ferret, Kintaro. I don't want a Kintaro. See, the problem is I don't really want any of these guys. I have all the ones I really want. It's 2H. Is 2H special? 3 missile, 3 ballistic. What's he look like? So what's special about this one? Looks like a lot like the 2H, except he's got more missiles. But not really. There's no real difference between... Wait a minute, I have the 2H. Duh. That's why it looked familiar. I have the 2H. Because that's the Phoenix. I have the rest of them. Storm Crows, don't need any of those. Trebuchets I don't want. Vindicators I don't really care about. Brains. I have all the Wolverines. Except for the hero. I don't know what I would buy medium-wise. See, this is the problem, guys, is I have most of these mechs. I don't really need to buy one. The easiest way to do it is just simulate buying one in the store. And basically you just go in, pick your weight class. In this case, that. Okay, Shadowcat 2D2 or Shadowhawk 2D2. You just click on it, click buy. You want to pay MC or C bills. Be very careful here. You do not want to do MC. I don't know why they default to that. They really should change it to default to C bills. You click OK. You get a little message confirmation, blah blah blah. It shows up in your mech lab. Or you just go to your mech lab, go to select your mech. Find your Shadowhawk 2D2, click on it. There it is. You want to go to loadout. You start playing with it. Let's go back to this actually real quick. The first thing you probably want to do when you buy it is you want to strip the mech, or you can reset the mech. Now just strip it. Strip. And it asks you, what do you want to strip? You want to strip all equipment. Armor, don't worry about. Cockpit items, don't worry about. Just basically strip all the equipment, and what that's going to do is it takes everything out of the mech. Takes its engine, takes the weapons, takes all the armor. The armor stays where it is. That's that. So, and odds are is it's all going to be set like this anyway. Chances are, if you buy a stock, cheap. If you buy the 2D2 Shadowhawk first off, this is basically what it's going to look like after you strip it. All your upgrades are going to be set to here, to standards. And the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to change your heat sinks to double, structure to endo, and I believe I'm probably going to end up with Pharaoh as well, right? And even Artemis. Why am I doing all this? This Pharaoh Fibrous gives you 2.5% of your weight back. So in this case, it's going to work out to be about 1.25 tons. Is that right? Yeah, 1.25 tons. Heat sinks, double heat sinks are better than standard. They're bigger, yes, but they weigh the same and they're more heat efficient. You're going to want them, worth the cost. Structure. Endosteel gives you 5% of your tonnage back. So in this case, it's going to be about 2.5 tons. This is a 55-ton mech, so 5% is roughly 2.5 tons, a little bit more. So you're going to want to basically your upgrade progress when building a mech is double heat sinks, endo, and Pharaoh. Artemis is different. It doesn't. All this does is it adds tonnage to your missile weapons. In this case, if we're looking at regular missiles, you can see it says when you're at standard, the missiles say just regular SRM2, SRM6, whatever. You look at their tonnage, 1, 2, and 3 for 2s, 4s, and 6s. That's how much. Artemis adds a ton to the launcher. So instead of being 1, it's 2, 3, and 4. Keep that in mind. And as well as, oops, sorry, wrong button. Artemis actually adds crit space as well. Just look at SRM6s. Like a regular SRM6 is, sorry, it goes over here. Regular SRM6 is 2 crit slots, 3 tons. Okay, not bad, whatever. However, if you want to do Artemis, and why do you want to do Artemis? Artemis for SRMs, short range missiles, it makes them clump better. They don't spread as much, because normally if you were to fire the 6 SRMs, you fire them out, and by the time they get to their max distance of 270 meters, they're nice and spread out. Probably got a nice almost 10-meter spread. Sometimes it feels like they get nice and spread out. What Artemis does is it keeps that spread more tight, not super pinpoint tight, just tighter. So it's typically a good idea to get them or get Artemis if you can afford the tonnage and you have the crit space. And now we get to the point of the crit space here is when I go back to Artemis, I turn Artemis off, you lose that launcher because the Artemis launcher is different. It is more expensive than the regular launchers. They can see 260 as opposed to 160. So it adds basically 100,000 for the SRM6s. And it adds to the crit slots as well. Instead of 2 crit slots, they're now 3. So it adds crit slots and tonnage, 1 crit slot per launcher, and another ton as well. So instead of this normally being 6 tons for 2 of them, it is now 8 tons, and instead of taking up 4 crit slots, it takes up 6. And of course it adds to the cost of the mech. Just putting Artemis on is like, I think 250,000. I already had Artemis on this, so that's why it's not showing up as an upgrade. But again, Artemis is expensive. Most people don't notice it. Now, if you're an experienced player, you may or may not notice how expensive Artemis is, but is it actually expensive to put Artemis on most mechs, especially if you have multiple missile launchers? In this case, I'm looking at the 2D2. So just showing the upgrades. I don't actually run regular SRMs on this build. This build, I want to run Streak 2s. IS are in this time period are limited to Streak 2s, while the IS has Streak 2s, 4s, and 6s. As you can see, a Streak 2 is a little bit heavier than a regular Streak 2. Oh, sorry, wait a minute, that's lighter. Oh, sorry, that's Artemis. Artemis, normally a regular SRM2 is only 1 ton. Streak 2s are 1.5. And then, of course, so they're comparable in weight to regular SRM4s with Artemis. And again, and here's a nice little treat. Streak 2s are not actually affected by the rules of Artemis. They do not weigh heavier than normal. They maintain their weight. They are always 1.5 tons here. They do not take up an additional crit slot. As you can see, they are still 1 crit slot. And I am just putting them into the various... These are your hardpoint locations. I guess it's teal, the green-blue, whatever you want, blue-green, whatever. That's missiles. The yellow is energy. And the ballistic here is purple. So I've got 1 here in the left torso that I am not going to use. I'm only going to be using my streaks, my missile hardpoints, and my energy hardpoints. I'm going to be putting 2 medium pulse lasers, 1 on each arm. And just to be clear, this is, before the clan showed up, this was my light hunter build. Basically, when I want to go out hunting light mechs, I'd bring this guy, because streaks are really good at killing lights, or at least making their lives miserable. And basically what I would do is you hit them, run around, chase them, hit them with the streaks, wait until their leg armor gets low, and then you strip then you take out a leg with the lasers. And then once they lose a leg, they're really easy to kill. Game over. And of course, the key component here to this build, as you can see, I put an engine in yet. I have different ways now. And this is all new within the past couple of months since I went to this new, what are they calling it? Mech Lab. Mech Lab 2.0, whatever. This is all nice and different. You click on your engine slot over here. You got your different types. You got standards. You got your XLs. You can show just the ones you own. In this case, that's what I'm going to do. I believe you don't have to, of course, click on owned, but you can see you can sort them by tonnage. Right now that's by lightest, but I want to see heaviest. And I want the actual 350 because that's the one I actually own. 2 of those. drag them over here. That in. You can either, like I said, you can either drag it from over here, or you can use these this scroll bar, or what is it? The little triangle arrow things. You can put whatever engine size you feel like. You just click up and down. Do you want an Excel? Oh, I can't take the Excel out. It's too heavy. Here. See, when you click on the little Excel checkbox, watch the side torsos. The left and the right side torso, like right now it's unchecked. Because the XL engine takes up crit slots in the side torsos. You click that, fills it in automatically. Very neat, very slick. And then of course you can change the weight. Just pay attention. See how I'm clicking through the weights here? And see how the C-bills over here say 0? That means I own one of these. I own a 350 XL engine. If I click down to 345, see the C-bills over here? 5.6 million. I don't own one of those. So if I was not paying attention, I click save. Guess who just lost 5.6 million C-bills? Me. Or you. If it was you. So keep that in mind when I don't use this specifically for that reason. I always use over here, because what I do is I go in here. If I don't have an engine, then of course I'm going to buy it, but I'm going to drag it over from here. But usually I don't. I go looking for my owned items first. I sort by the tonnage, so I can see, you know, just because I like to see the biggest, because usually you work at the biggest engines. You don't usually put the smallest engines you can, you put the biggest engines you can. So that's what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at the engines I actually own, so I can drag them over here. I already have the 350 there, so happy, all set. So what are we at for tonnage? We are currently at 45. What's with the weird 0.4 stuff? I hate this thing. For some reason they've introduced a floating point error of a rounding error somewhere, and so we get these numbers that are not accurate, because this number, whatever. Okay, so I did have jump jets in this before. So we go over to equipment. So you got sensors, a Beagle active probe, heat sinks, case, and jump jets. These are all the stuff that you can put on this mech. If the mech could put other different things on here, these lists would be different. It tells you whatever this mech can actually put on, and I don't want to look at owned items. I want to look at everything. Because I'm going to be hunting lights, chances are there's a real good chance they're going to have ECM, and ECM is what prevents you from locking on to a target. And it really makes it really hard to use missiles, because you have to get really close. You can eventually get a lock, but it takes forever and a day. So what you want to do when you want to, counter ECM is you put a Beagle active probe, or for clan mechs they're called a clan active probe. It's the same thing. The only difference is the clan version is a little bit lighter. It's 1 ton instead of 1.5, and I believe it's only 1 slot as well. So this guy, we're going to be putting, where did I put him? I put him in the left torso. And I want that there because this is what the Beagle active probe does, is it helps you, it actually tells you over here on the right, increases your sensor range by, I believe, 25%. It speeds up targeting data. It doesn't affect your lock-on times, but what it does do is when you do get a lock on somebody, you get the information on that target faster. And of course, it detects shutdown mechs if you're close enough. Sometimes you'll see somebody shut down during a match and they're trying to hide. If you get within like 100 meters or something like that, the ECM will actually ping them and they will pop up nice and bright for you. I think I've seen it work once, because that's how often people actually use that tactic of shutting down as trying to hide. It's not very common, but the BAP will actually pick them up on radar real quick. If you're close enough. You have to be pretty close though. And of course the big thing, of course, is it counters ECM. And what that means is if there's an ECM mech running around, such as the Raven 3L, a Spider 5D I think it is, any of the Arctic Cheetahs that are running ECM, basically an Atlas DDC, one of the new Cataphract 0XP, Hellbringer, those mechs usually all run around in ECM. And what this Beagle active probe will do, it'll cancel out one of those ECMs. So if you run into, say, one Raven 3L that's got ECM, This Beagle Active Probe will cancel it out. He will get no bonuses. That ECM is basically worthless for him. You will lock on these streaks really nicely, and you will shoot the hell out of him, and he will run away crying as fast as he can, if he can. Thing is with the 350 XL in this thing, I'm going to keep up with him for a little while, because this will do, I believe, 116 now. Speed tweak, sorry, 113. So this says 113 with the 350 XL, which means it will keep up for long enough to keep up with the Raven typically to kill them. Now, having said this, this only cancels one ECM. So if you happen to run into 2 Raven 3Ls or 1 Raven 3L and say an Arctic Cheetah with ECM, you're out of luck. You're only going to be canceling one of those ECMs. The other one's going to be going up nice and strong. The only way to deal with that is to bring in one of your own friends with ECM and they're on counter, or you bring in one of your friends who actually has an active probe as well. 2 active probes will cancel out 2 ECMs, or you can cancel out 1 ECM with the Beagle Active Probe and have somebody with ECM go into counter mode to counter up the second one. Once you get to multiple ECMs and BAPs, things get a little complicated, but for simple purposes, we'll just talk one-on-one. So in this case, this will illuminate 1 ECM. You don't have to do anything. It's automatic. You don't have to hit any buttons. All you have to do is get within, I think it's 240 meters, and their ECM is countered. And like I said, it will ruin their day, because that's it. Okay, let's see what else. I'm building this thing yet? No, I am not. I still, as you can see, I'm only at 46.9 tons. I don't know why it's 0.9. It should be 47, but I still have to put ammo on for the streaks. So we go to click the ammo tab, click on missiles, and now as you can see, you've got two choices here. You can do a full ton of ammo or a half ton. Half-ton selection is fairly new. It is also incredibly useful. Not necessarily in this build, but in some other builds it is. So I want to put my ammo in. You got to be somewhat logical in your locations here. Keeping in mind this is an Excel. It has an Excel engine, meaning if you lose either one of these torsos, you're dead. Plain and simple. You lose either one of these torsos, you're dead. So what you do not want to do is put your ammo in these side torsos, because if you are running around doing your thing, getting shot, you lose your armor on your left torso, somebody else comes along, shoots you with a machine gun or whatever weapon, they get a crit hit on this ammo blows up, it takes out your side torso, you die. Plain and simple. So typically if you are running an Excel engine, you do not put ammo in the side torsos. Generally to put it down in your legs, your arms, and if you're feeling brave like me, you put it in the center torso. Because if you're getting hit in the center torso and you have no armor there, chances are you're going to die anyway. So who cares? That's my attitude at least. And it frees up a crit slot. So I am looking at, I want to run at least 4 tons of ammo. 1 for each launcher. That will give me 100 missiles per ton for SRMs. For LRMs, it is 180 missiles per ton. But for SRMs, it is only 100 missiles per ton. So what this will give me is basically 50 shots per streak launcher. This may be a little excessive because I can't. Unfortunately, I did not look at my build real well before this. Actually, I think this engine might even be. I think I have to put heat sinks in this thing still. But anyway, as you can see, so got my launchers, right torso, head, and CT, center torso. And then I put 1 ton of ammo on the center torso. I could put it down here on the leg if I was smart. That's probably where I should put it, but I don't always claim to be smart. Why not? Why shouldn't I? Why wouldn't I want to put it down my right leg? Well, the thinking here is, if I lose my right leg, I'm going to lose 2 tons of ammo. If I lose my left leg, I'm dead. If I lose both legs, I'm dead, so it doesn't matter. But this way, if I lose my right leg, I would be out 2 tons of ammo. If I lose my left leg, I'll be out 2 tons of ammo as well. If I keep a ton of ammo up here, I can lose either leg and I still have basically backup ammo. Just something to consider. You don't have to do it that way. Some people do, some people don't. Oh, forgot to point this out. Engine size. Starting at engine sizes of 275 and above, you get a slot in the engine itself for heat sinks. And it's at increments of 25, you get an additional slot. So you get 1 at 275, 2 at 300, 3 at 325, 4 at 350, 5 at 375, and 6 at 400. Most mechs cannot run an engine size of 400, but there are those that can. If you can, fill it up with heat sinks. Free space. It's really what it is. It's free space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put heat sinks down there because this thing can actually get a little warm, because these streaks generate a little bit of heat, not a lot, but when you're firing all 4 at once, that is 8 heat. Builds up over time, and of course the medium pulses are 4 heat each, and I usually fire them both at once, so that's another 8. So most heat I can get build up at a time is 16. And what is the maximum heat you build up? I don't know. I've never actually, I think it's 100? No, I don't think it's 100 heat. But anyway. So the question here is stupid engine. Not that it matters, I'm not going to save this build anyway, I'm going to go back to my base build. But anyway, so that's basically how you build it. If you want to change the armor values, feel free. Actually, I probably should at some point, because this is actually a little bit too much armor. I should actually really be running that at 10. Boost that up to as much as it'll go, 62. Down to this probably to about half of what it was. 8 should be good. That. Same over here. Ta-da! You can see the tonnage was changing. Now it's changing, moving stuff around. Just watch the tonnage change up there. Again, this is some type of rounding error going on. This was introduced with the new Mech Lab. Again, this wasn't heat. Remember, it said 55 tons before I started playing with it. When I stripped it, that's when the error showed up. So it's apparently related to new builds not existing. Anyway, so that's how you do that. And then when you're all happy, you got your build. You're happy. You like the way it looks. Whatever, you can go down here and look at stuff and get your tonnage over here. How many slots you've used up? You got 78 max, but you've used up 77 because we got endo steel and ferrofibrous, and we got an XL engine, all kinds of fun stuff. You've used up 370 of your 370 armor points. Their heat management is 1.6. Typically, you want this number as high as you can get it, as you're comfortable with. The closer you get to 1, that means you're running that means it's a hot build. If you go under 1, that means it's really hot. You probably want to make some changes to it, unless you want to run it that way. I don't suggest you do that, especially as a new player. You generally want to sit around 1.3 or higher, I think is my usual goal. I usually want to hit 1.3 or better is usually manageable for me, but the closer to 2, the better. Firepower, this is how much damage you can do if you fire all weapons at once. You can see this 28, not super high, but it's not meant to be. This is your speed. It's a 75.5. I think that's running backwards. That's reverse. That's reverse speed. Max reverse speed, I think. Not positive. Yeah, it is. Never mind. Yep, forward and reverse. So, and again, this speed is actually modified by skills up here at the top. We can go over that in a few minutes if you want. But again, it's as you level up the mech, and you assign your experience points to certain points, and eventually one of the things is called speed tweak, and it's basically a 10% bonus. The actual speed of this engine is 10% lower than this, so it's actually right about 101 or so. But with the speed tweak skill, it goes up to 113. Jump distance. This is how far you jump if you use the full burn of your jump jets, and that's what I forgot to put in this, jump jets. Not a big deal. Like I said, I won't save this, and we'll go back to the real build. Then of course it tells you XL engine here, hard points, just where everything is, a nice color coding. Kind of cool. I don't really use it, but some people like it. Tells you what modules you currently have loaded, just by looking here, and your quirks. cockpit, what's currently in your cockpit stuff. As you can see, I don't really have anything in there. And then your graphs. This is kind of helpful when you're comparing mechs. Again, it's not something I look at on a regular basis, but some people do. That's not something I really look at. I go based off, I play the mech and can see the stuff really is firsthand instead of looking at that. So that is that. Oh yeah, and don't forget the save button and pay attention to these numbers here. This is MC. This is, again, real money. Real money for MC. C-bills, this is what you actually earn in the games. Be careful here, because like I said, we're here. Pay attention to this number, 345. If you don't actually have that engine on hand, that's how much it's going to cost you. Careful. Okay, 355, even better. But be careful. Very careful. Don't click that save button. If you see numbers here and you don't think you should be, or these numbers are incredibly high and you're not expecting to be that high, don't click the save button. Go through and see why. You know, you may have clicked something that you don't really want to click. Just be careful. More firepower always results in more heat. Typically, yes. Depends on the weapons. Some weapons generate more heat than others. Typically energy weapons are hotter than ballistics of the same range. Like say medium lasers in comparison to AC5s. They do the same damage. Medium lasers do 5 damage, AC5s do 5 damage. I think you're okay to post a link, Phil. If not, I'll fix it, don't worry. Actually, wait a minute. Let me just allow you real quick. I'm pretty sure I made you guys a regular, so... But just to be safe... Oh, yep. Like I said, thought you were a regular. So, what was I talking about? Oh, damage and heat. Yeah, it depends on the weapons. Like I said, medium lasers are... This isn't actually... Actually, yeah, I can't actually look at all the weapons, can I? Yep, sure can. Okay, so AC5s, as you can see here, they generate 1 heat for 5 damage, right? Okay, medium lasers... Where are you, medium lasers? Medium lasers are 5 damage for 4 heat. So it depends on the weapons. So if you've got 10 medium lasers, really, really hot. 10 AC5s, not so hot. That's, of course, extreme examples, but you gotta just look at the weapons. You can tell, you know, how hot they are. And of course, that's what this is for. The heat management. This basically tells you how hot it is if you fire all the weapons at once. It doesn't tell you what it is if I just fire 1 medium pulse. It's not 1.56 heat management for 1 pulse. It's 1.56 for firing everything at once. So if you manage your heat by not alpha striking all the time. You just pick what weapons and, you know, be more conservative. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, and like I said,